The hero of this story was born and raised in a small village. Throughout his youth, he went to the woods with his father. When the young man grew up, he became a hunter, and one day an incident happened to him that was imprinted in his memory for the rest of his life. One day Mikhail woke up at sunrise and went hunting in the forest. By the afternoon of his trip, he decided to take a break and stop. Ahead, the hunter saw a clearing where he could ideally rest. However, once on it, the man was taken aback. There was a tiger in the middle of the clearing. The man froze in fear. The predator clearly heard the hunter's approach, as she was looking directly at him. But it looked like the tiger didn't want to hurt him. Confused by the tiger's behavior, and unwilling to shoot him, the man slowly lowered the gun he had raised before and began to slowly approach the animal. Seeing that the man was moving towards him, the tiger began to take a few steps back. When the animal moved, Mikhail noticed that it was a female, as her nipples were full of milk. This meant that she had cubs nearby. The hunter also noticed that the animal was limping. Worried about the tigress's health, the man quietly called out to her. This seemed to calm the predator down, as she stopped growling and allowed him to get a few meters closer. As soon as Mikhail approached the big cat, he realized that the tigress's wound was much worse than he thought. Someone obviously tried to shoot the poor cat, and the bullet hit her in the back of her leg, after which the infection began. Seeing the terrible condition of the wound, the hunter immediately tried to help, but the wild cat kept him at a distance with its growling. Then the animal did something truly extraordinary. The tigress turned and began to walk away to the edge of the clearing, but stopped as soon as she reached the trees. It was at this moment that the hunter began to hear the squeaking of the little tiger cubs. The big cat carefully picked up one of the cubs from the ground and limped back to Mikhail. When she reached him, she laid the tiger cub at the man's feet. The tigress did the same with the second cub. The man was incredibly amazed by what was happening. He was a little afraid that she might attack if he touched them. However, the tigress began to walk away from the hunter and her cubs and, turning around for the last time, disappeared into the forest. Mikhail understood that the mother tigress would not have abandoned her cubs just like that. Apparently, the big cat realized that she didn't have much time left, and she wanted to make sure that her children would survive. Not wanting to leave the two young tigers to their fate, Mikhail picked up the animals in his arms and headed back through the forest to his house. After returning safely to the village, he decided to take the two cubs to the local veterinarian and make sure they were all right. Over time, the two cubs grew up and got stronger. The staff of the local zoo became aware of two young tigers. They offered to buy them back from the man. However, even despite the large amount of money, the hunter refused to part with the animals. He believed that giving them away would be a betrayal. Eventually, it's time to bring them back to nature. They grew up to be strong individuals and possessed all the skills that could be useful to them in the forest. Mikhail was sad to watch the tigers leave, but it was better this way. But soon an incident occurred that proved that all the good that our hero did not go unnoticed. A couple of years later, the man went into the forest in search of game and there came across a huge bear. His gun jammed and he started running. But he failed to escape, and the animal overtook him in the forest thicket. And then the frightened man suddenly saw two tigers. It was them, his little ones. They rushed at the bear so that the man could escape. The bear, tired of defending himself, went into the forest. Then the hunter realized that he would never see his tigers again. But he was happy that they were alive, healthy, and adapted to the wild. The tigers repaid the man with kindness. Dear viewers, if you liked this video, then like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.